everybody. Welcome to episode 179 of the Baseball Brew Crew Podcast. We are keeping baseball history alive, one craft beer at a time. Wherever you are watching or listening to us, please give us a like and a follow. And if you love beer with your baseball, please tell a friend. Let's get to it. Here is the lineup card for today. Hitting first is the newest acquisition and the first international signing of the Baseball Brew Crew. It is the Big Hurt, Allan Jepsen. How you doing tonight?
Fantastic here. Recovering from the weekend, and this is the only way I know how.
Excuse me. I need to interrupt this because why are you the man introducing Allan Jepsen, Michael Mondragon?
I shouldn't be. This man should.
Ladies and gentlemen, now batting, the Squared Circle Diamond King, number 24, the Big Hurt, Allan Jepsen.
That's better.
I'll never get tired of that.
He's a little bit better than I am.
That's great.
Batting second is the field correspondent and senior research analyst at the Baseball Brew Crew. It is Kevin Lyon. Looking good. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing stellar. 2025 has sucked for many people that I care about. Lost some people, but you know what? Selfishly, I love 2025 so far. And I love being here on the Baseball Brew Crew Podcast.
Well, you have 9 lives, so and
I like it more. I like today even more because someone's missing.
Oh, well, speaking of which, our Goodwill ambassador and Sultan of Swig at the Baseball Brew Crew, Cowboy Jack Durango, is not here tonight, but he has sent us a video for us to watch, and let's check it out now.
Hey, it's Cowboy Jack. I want to take a few moments to speak to my fans, let them know what's going on. My talent agency and the board of directors of the Baseball Brew Crew have sadly reached an impasse. The Baseball Brew Crew can no longer afford my exorbitant salary. Don't feel bad. The Dodgers couldn't afford it. I don't think the Dodgers and Yankees together could afford it. So the Baseball Brew Crew is it's a passion of mine. I've loved being part of the franchise. I've really enjoyed the organization, and all sides are working towards an acceptable solution to get Cowboy Jack back on your TV screens. Stay tuned. We're all working. In the meantime, you're in great hands with Michael and Allan, and sadly, Kevin, you have to deal with him as well. But welcome to our life. We got to deal with him all the time too. So stay tuned. Everybody's working hard towards a solution, and I'm confident that we'll find one.
Wow.
And you know, you're not going to be dealing with me forever because I'll outlive all of you, so it's fine. So is Jack on strike or is he locked out? I don't understand what the negotiations are here.
Yeah, it's a little unclear.
Are we going to arbitration? I think we need arbitration here.
He's holding out.
Yes, it does seem like that. And also it seems that I didn't know he was going to be part of the hot stove. We could trade him.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know
who we're going to get for. I don't know what kind of prospects you can get for Cowboy Jack.
Well,
a grizzled vet. The only reason we trade a grizzled vet is hope to get a couple, maybe like a 3rd round draft pick next year.
or as my coach in high school used to say, might get a bucket of balls for you.
Baseballs or golf balls? What are we talking here?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly. It could be tennis balls.
You saw that on your soundboard?
No, but I'm going to put it on there.
There you go.
My name is Michael Mondragon, your humble host for the festivities tonight. As tradition on the show, we always bring a new and unique craft beer to review and enjoy. So what craft beer are you drinking? Let us know in the chat if you're watching us, what craft beer you're drinking while you're watching this. I'm going to start with you, Kevin, because I believe this is a favorite from one of your favorite brewers.
Well, this is a unique one because it is by Radiant in a collaboration with Ambitious Ales out of Long Beach, California. Well, 30-minute drive if you don't have traffic, which good luck with that. But the reason why I'm sharing this, and I was looking to have this was not brewed at Radiant. This was brewed in Ambitious Ales. And I tell them I might have took one when I got my cop this morning. All right. This was brewed. This is not available at Radiant Beer in Anaheim. This was available at Ambitious Ales in Long Beach. So kayfabe, I got one of these. And regardless, it's called Local Bands Showcase. I'd love you have a great photo of that there. It's a hazy IPA with something I've never heard of before. Citra Dyna Boost.
Yes.
That sounds like a local band who might be playing at a show by you. We have Citra Dyna Boost, Strata, Citra, Cashmere, and Mosaic Hyper Boost. So maybe we have we have a festival going here of all the. We get the Citra Dyna Boost taking the stage. And coming up after them is going to be the Mosaic Hyper Boost here at the local band showcase here in Anaheim, California.
Wolfman Jack right there.
You knew what I was going for. This is so like I said, it's a hazy IPA coming at 7%, 16 ounces, not 60 IBUs. Been brewed in beautiful Long Beach, California, and love it. This is the only one I got, so I'm going to enjoy it. I might even nurse it, but you know me, I don't nurse beer on this show.
Of course. Booming with big aromas of tropical mango and pineapple. Oh, Kevin, this beer is, oh
yeah,
my
so
God.
I only have one, sir.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, I only have one.
I feel like he's lying.
Oh, nice. And for, I think it was your senior year, people knew you as Citra Dyna Boost, right? That was your name for the entire year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, come on. You think beer existed when I was a kid? High school? Come on. It was wine pretty much.
Yes. And mead.
And mead. No, the
Good old
Dyna
mead.
Boost mead.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Ooh.
Love it. Oh, this is so good. And boy, if I was still in California, you know, I would have one of these.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait. Hazy IPA, ambitious ales, and radiant. Good stuff. Good stuff. Allan, you were up next with a beer that I equally want, and it's a little higher in alcohol. So, oh yeah, tell me about this one.
Oh,
It's not only more alcohol percentage, it's also bigger than Kevin's beer as well.
Ooh,
Yeah, today I got the No Lie Imperial Squatch. It's a juicy, hazy IPA. It's East Coast meets West Coast boldness. Hops and malt bestow this beer with an aura of citrusy delight and light pine. Despite it being 9%, it doesn't feel that way. And you guys know this is not usually my style, but yeah. But no, it's going down pretty good so far. So
where is No Lie located?
Spokane.
Beautiful.
So-
Home of the Spokane Indians. Are they still called the Indians?
they are.
Because I know they really accept the local Native American culture with the team.
Yeah, they do it.
Owned by the
right
Brett
there.
family, if I remember right.
Correct. Yep. Yeah, there's a good episode with Anna, the baseball bucket list, and Mr. Brett out there. So
Right on.
go check that out as well.
Bobby, I want to say, right? I think it's Bobby.
I
Because I know it's not George. I think Bobby's the other brother.
Yeah, I can't remember, but I remember that episode. It was a good one.
Boy, I'm so envious of your beers, both of you this week. And another No Lie Brew House. I definitely have to put that on my list. But anything juicy, anything hazy, anything IPA, I'm in.
Yeah, next time I send some stuff down, I have a couple places in mind that I already got lined up for you. So
Love it. A few more. What was it? What do you call it? Yeast samples?
liquid yeast samples.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Shh, everybody be quiet.
Kayfabe samples. That is, jeez.
Yes. Well, my beer for this week, going with the Seattle motif.
Wow.
Yes, it is the Overcompensation IPA from Stoop Brewing in Seattle, Washington. 7.1 ABV, 64 IBU, chock full of Eclipse hops from Australia. This beer bursts with big flavors of fresh pine and zesty citrus, held in check by Citra Cryo and another Australian favorite, Vic Secret. That was my name in high school, Vic Secret. They have 3 locations in the Seattle area. One is just north of Seattle, but 2 in Seattle proper. But I actually got this beer here in Arizona, and it's at a place called Wicked Rain.
Wow.
And yeah, it's a Pacific Northwest craft beer bar.
Whoa.
Yeah, and so
That's
it's
great.
yeah, it just happens to be in this location. I looked it up on Untapped in all the venues. And I was like, what is this place? And they have 40 rotating taps, both with like Arizona and Pacific Northwest.
And they do have some Northwest beers on draft. Wow.
They do.
That's not really available. Wow.
No,
That's
not
cool.
at all. So they have like Rogue, and as you see here, Great Notion.
Yeah.
And that's where I got this one from Stoop. And they had
Isn't that a Salt and Pepper song? Stoop.
Stoop, baby, soup. And spring training is coming up, and unfortunately, this is nowhere near any spring training site. It's way out of the way. But
well, that's why you get some, then you kayfabe in your car before you go in.
That's it. And I wish this one was closer. I wish they had like a little satellite place right by Peoria, because that's where the Mariners are at.
Yeah, Gilbert from Peoria, that's a good 35, 40-minute drive.
Oh, it's probably a little bit more now with all the construction on the freeways and stuff like that. But everything's coming up. All the Phoenix Open's coming up, and all the great golfing.
Not this weekend.
It's not. It's not. Yeah,
it's Super Bowl weekend versus
Super Bowl. Yeah. And when the Super Bowl's here, it's like even more insane.
We're not allowed to say that. The big game.
Oh, the big game. Sorry.
You might get sued.
That's right.
They got us.
Michael, you could almost get a beer. You could be like when Cowboy Jack was on and he would highlight a different Arizona brewery every week. You could probably almost highlight a different Pacific Northwest brewery every week by the looks of this.
It's so true.
Man.
And then they also have for the Seattle Seahawks, they have like a whole, on game day and stuff like that. The funny thing is that they don't really do a lot for the Mariners, but maybe I'll have to turn that around, right?
What about the Kraken?
Oh, they might do stuff. They definitely do stuff for the Kraken. Now that there's no hockey in Arizona.
Oh, because hockey in Arizona was such a big thing. Let me tell you.
For a while it was. They might be coming back.
I would love for some Sean Kemp and Supersonics love in there, but I'm going to be realistic.
Yeah, it's true. What about downtown Freddie Brown? We're getting way off topic.
You went way further than I did.
But the X-Man, Xavier McDaniel.
I know the X-Man, yeah. made an amazing cameo in the movie Singles, if you know the movie Singles.
We are going way off topic.
In any film ever. Hashtag do the research.
Yes. So definitely check out
at Stoop a couple weeks ago. So
did you really?
Yeah, when I was down there for the holidays, that we made sure we hit a few of our favorites there. Stoop being one of them, Rubens being another one, and then Urban Family, which does sours, IPAs. That's it.
So you and I would just be there the whole time.
Oh yeah, exactly. It would be the best.
Love it.
Yeah, it's one of our go-tos when we're back in Ballard.
Fantastic. So that's what we're drinking tonight. So here we are. The class of 2025 has been finalized, and the 5 will be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown on July 27th. They are Dick Allan and Dave Parker, voted in by the Legends Committee, and 3 more were selected this week. They are Ichiro Suzuki, CC Sabathia, and Billy Wagner. So who are these men, and what are their baseball journeys to the Hall? Well, let's find out. Kevin, we're going to start with you with Ichiro Suzuki. Tell me about this amazing ball player.
I mean, he's pretty well known. So, Ichiro Suzuki, who is now known by simply Ichiro, which is Ricky Henderson level, but I've never heard Ichiro refer to himself in the third person yet. So let's hope for that in Cooperstown, Allan Jepsen. So I believe you're going to be seeing that live and live in color, baby. So we all know now that he is the first Japan-born player to be elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame, the National Baseball Hall of Fame. One curmudgeon still would not vote this man into the Hall of Fame. And we all know about him in America, so I decided instead to focus on his time before he moved to the United States. So there's little Ichiro there in the far left. He grew up in a small town just outside Nagoya. He didn't start playing baseball until the age of 7. When he started to, he asked his dad for help. So this became his daily routine, throwing 50 pitches, fielding 50 infield balls, and 50 outfield balls, and hitting 500 pitches, 250 from a pitching machine and 250 from his father. That is some training in the barn with Vern Gagne level stuff. But look what it created. As a little leaguer, on his glove, he had the word "shuchu," meaning concentrated, written on his glove. And at age of 12, he decided, this is it. I'm going to go all in and become a pro. And even at that age, all the work he had been doing has taken a toll on him. I would say mentally. To quote Ichiro directly, he said, quote, "It bordered on hazing, and I suffered a lot." What does this sound like, Michael Mondragon? Do you remember a kid named Todd Marinovich?
Yes, I do.
So Todd Marinovich was a guy being created to be an NFL quarterback. He was a local sensation here. And this just reminds me of this because his dad, Marv Marinovich, who was an NFL player, I believe, ended up building like his whole thing just to train his son specifically. And it pretty much, I think he had a cup of coffee in the NFL. He did really great at USC, if I remember right. But his son Todd just fell apart. But the reason why I bring this up is apparently nowadays he's looked at much better. Let's take a look into his madness here of what he was doing.
Who is Marv Marinovich? Marv Marinovich was the first strength and conditioning coach with the NFL. He came up with a process on how to measure athletic ability and the protocol that the NFL now uses today for their combine measurements. He is a pioneer of strength and conditioning. And without his work, the state of the NFL would never be in the position it is today without his research and without his methodology. A lot of his methodology came from Eastern Bloc sports performance science, and it was the Soviet Union that actually created the idea of sports performance. They were the ones that put in millions of dollars into research and had unlimited athletes to come up with the most comprehensible measurements on how to make athletes better. So without Marv Marinovich, there would be no modern day NFL.
Like, I can't believe when I saw a video because I remember thinking that Marv's just a maniac, but he's trained like Troy Polamalu in the NFL, and I'm sure some of his applications and techniques have been used in other sports as well. So I was just like, what? But that's just a sidebar of like, this is what Ichiro's dad reminded me of was Todd and Marv, for those people who, from me, who grew up in LA. In high school, went to high school, went to a very prestigious high school for baseball. Suzuki's dad told the coach, quote, no matter how good Ichiro is, don't ever praise him. We have to make him spiritually strong. And hey, you know what? In high school, are you aware that he was a pitcher primarily instead of an outfielder because of his strong arm? And you say, wait, what? A pitcher, Michael?
Yep.
What do you have? I have a clip for you to share. Do you have that clip for me?
It's a good one.
Hey, Chris, check this out. Fastball low and outside. Want to see one high and tight?
Yeah, on the corner.
Set up on the corner.
That's pretty cool.
Want to see his curveball?
His curveball. Just a bit outside.
Mariners baseball. My, oh my.
And that's just the quickest clip I can find of him pitching. And I'm like, that's pretty freaking great because you don't even think of him as being a pitcher until you saw, like me, until you saw the clips of him pitching against a high school team in the last couple of years too, which hashtag do the research on that. But even though he did great in high school, because of his smaller size, he wasn't even drafted to the 4th round of the Nippon Professional Baseball Draft in November of 1991. So he ended up on the Oryx Blue Waves, who are now known as the Oryx Buffaloes. But he wasn't an immediate sensation. He did well in the minors, but the manager of the Blue Waves then didn't like Ichiro because of his swing, which was nicknamed Furiko Daho, meaning the pendulum. He was even sent to the minors a day after hitting a home run off of Hideo Nomo, future star. I think pitched no here for the Dodgers, back in the day. But then a new manager came in 1994, and Ichiro became Ichiban. Let me tell you about that. He became the first player in NPB history, Nippon Professional Baseball, to get 200 hits in a season. Sure, that's happened many times in Major League Baseball. But so how hard can that be to do that in Japan? Let me tell you why. Are you aware of how many baseball games are in a season in NPB? Either of you know the number?
Is it like 140 something?
144. That is 18 less than Major League Baseball. This guy got 200 hits in 144 games. I mean, that's almost a hit and a half a game. That's nuts. In that particular year, he had 385, which won the first of his 7, you heard that right, 7 consecutive batting titles. And hey, he was MVP of the Pacific League, and he won that the next 2 years. Yeah, no big deal. Yeah, just immediate sensation out of nowhere, right? And this is when he became not known as Ichiro Suzuki, just Ichiro. And, Suzuki's a very common surname, much like, I don't know, Mondragon, right? Sure. So the team predating He Hate Me in the XFL. Yes, I'm going XFL in this here, along with the NFL. They put Ichiro on the back of his jersey, which Ichiro himself was like, no, wasn't liking it at first. He later accepted it, but why would Oryx do this? Come on. Why would Oryx make a jersey that just says Ichiro number 51 on the back? Any guesses? It's not cream. I mean, it's casual as everything around me. Come on, it's all about getting the yen. And it obviously worked. He was such a great hitter that the Japanese press called him Ando Seizaki, meaning the hit manufacturing machine. Pretty amazing. So he first got some exposure in 1996 against Major League players. He played Expedition Series versus the MLB All-Stars, and he didn't get the Ichiro. He felt that itch. But in 1995, he did visit the United States, and I want you to see who he met.
ジョーダンのいる部屋へ。
Nice to meet you.
Hello,
My name is Ichiro.
Ichiro? Nice meeting you.
This is your translator.
Remember me? Yes, I remember when.
How are you?
How you been doing?
Yeah, good. You're okay?
Great.
Oh.
He's really nervous, right?
Is he? I saw you at the practice yesterday.
Right. We were given the privilege to visit your practice.
Oh, just to see what it was like?
Right. Well, it's to see you.
Oh, cool.
練習に来てるの見たよって。君が練習にね、見に来てるの知ってたよって。
あ、そうなんですか。いや。
He's very excited to see you.
Oh, great.
You've been
Thanks.
his idol ever since he was young.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So he's a pitcher back in
No,
Japan?
he's a hitter.
Oh,
and
hitter.
he's hit like 210 hits in one season.
Oh.
One seasonで210本打ったから。
Now, is he going to come to America and play?
アメリカには野球しに来ないの？
腕が3倍になったら来ますよ。
Says once his arm gets as fat as yours, big as yours, 3 times as big as his right now.
Oh, good.
And that's crazy. That's like 5 years before you get in the Mariners.
Yeah.
I don't know the whole circumstance about that, but otherwise, that's great. And you have to love that Tom shirt, Michael Mondragon.
Oh, the Tom and Jerry shirt is
I
amazing.
didn't see Jerry. I only saw Tom, which makes it even weirder. I'm like, where's Jerry?
Yeah, it's a Tom and Jerry shirt.
Yeah, it was good stuff. But it's just funny here, Michael Jordan, after coming back from his baseball adventure that didn't go well, aka kayfabe, he got suspended for gambling, so they hit him. I mean, what? Let's go into that conspiracy theory. We won't talk about that. Let's not talk about that. Let's just talk about the fact that this little guy, he's probably like, this little guy here, this little guy got 200 hits in a season, and I can't even bat 200? Come on. But anyways, later on, he actually played a series of 7 exhibition games in versus the MLB All-Stars in 1988. And afterwards, all the MLB brothers are like, we need to get this dude on our team. We got to make this happen. So you got the brothers are on, all right, we got to get this guy over here, And so in the end of 2000, Ichiro was still a year away from being able to be a free agent. But the Blue Wave was, to quote Broadway Joe Namath, they were struggling. The Blue Wave saw the writing on the wall and knew they can't afford him, so figured, let's ship him out and at least get paid, brother. So the Seattle Mariners won the right to negotiate with him with a bid of approximately $13 million in 2000. And then after that, it's much like, you hear about Ohtani got all this, you had a bid to get Ohtani. Seattle won the rights to get him, and they signed him for 3 years, $14 million with the Seattle Mariners. I don't know. Allan, did you do all right in Seattle?
It was okay.
Okay, he's all right. I made sure today, because I forgot to mention this, I am wearing a Seattle Pilots hat for him. I'm wearing my famous Ribera jacket. It's almost in Mariners colors. And I'm wearing this shirt from a bar in Cooperstown, New York. I forgot to mention that earlier. Abner Doubleday Vodka, right down the street from the Hall of Fame, in case you want to get a beer or drink when you're in Cooperstown. It is on Main Street. So at the end of his run in Japan, let's see, he was a 7-time All-Star, 3-time Pacific League MVP, 2 Golden Gloves. Yes, Golden Gloves. They call them the Golden Gloves Award in Japan. And Japanese Baseball Hall of Famer, etc., etc., etc. To conclude, can we see a clip of Ichiro, please, in action?
そこでもうそれしかないというね、ホームランでの得点、もうこれはね、完全にね、一転して、もうオリックスペースですよね。
秋の日差しの下、テープが乱れ飛びます。 大木監督の胴上げが始まります。待ちに待った神戸での胴上げです。
I believe that I didn't see it in the comments or anything, but I believe that's from the 1995 run where they actually made it like very far in the playoffs. But you gotta love the 51 flags in the audience. That was pretty fantastic. And to close, I want to give you a quote from Ichiro. I'm not a big guy, and hopefully kids could look at me and see that I'm not muscular and not physically imposing, that I'm just a regular guy. So if somebody with a regular body can get in the record books, kids can look at that. That would make me happy. Cheers. Kampai to Ichiro Suzuki, one of the greatest of all time. And yes, awesome. I didn't mention that. 2 World Baseball Classic Championships of Japan. Yes.
Yes. I was at this one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was at this one. Like Yu Darvish was on this team, but it was, I said, it is this was at Dodger Stadium. The other one was, in Anaheim, and then they also played in Petco Park. That if you ever see a story on that, I think they did it for like whenever the World Baseball Classic is around, they talk about that year. Was it 2006? I think, if I'm not mistaken. And
6 was their first, and I think 9 was their last, or the other.
Yeah. So I was there in 2009, and the 2006 one is kind of really incredible because he really picks up the Japan team, and they were all intimidated by all the ball players, and Ichiro just basically said like, no, we're here to win this. And it's a really incredible story. And he's in this one, he was a villain because it was against Korea. Oh. And I have never been to a baseball game ever in my life where if you closed your eyes, you could imagine you were at a World Cup game. There was drums, there was people singing, it was a different atmosphere than I'd ever been at a Dodger Stadium. It was an incredible, and Ichiro came back and fought them back in extra innings to win that game. And every time he came up to bat, he was booed by the Korean fans.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was
like
fantastic.
the only time in his life.
Yes. But he also was very outspoken about how he wanted to win this. He didn't care who. He wanted to beat Korea in the worst way. So what a gamer. And then he was, eventually for the Yankees. I saw him again when he was with Miami, and I was giddy. I saw him with the Mariners, but I also saw him with Miami. And this was at the end. He didn't get a lot of playing time with Miami as much as he should have. But yeah, it was fantastic to see this. And and then he ended with the Mariners again, and ended in the Tokyo Dome. Those first 2 games of that season. So yeah, Kevin, outstanding stuff.
Everyone knows about him in America, so let's talk about a little bit before that.
Yeah, I mean, we could do a whole hour on him, and we should do another deep dive.
We've already done almost an hour between Allan and the Diamond Icon stage and me talking about Japan here, so we're good.
Love it. Thank you so much.
There's a fantastic clip of Ichiro as well. It's an international game, and one of the other countries plants a flag in the mound. I think it was in Japan, and you see him stewing in the dugout to the point where he turns around and yells at his teammates like he's ready to rush out to the mound. It's fantastic. We should definitely find that one to show it another time.
Absolutely. So you are up, Allan, with CC Sabathia.
CC Sabathia. Karsten Charles Sabathia, for those that didn't know what CC stood for. Born July 21st, 1980. He was Cleveland's first-round draft pick in 1998. Oh, that's a fantastic photo. By his freshman year at Vallejo High School, Sabathia was over 6 feet tall in high school, and he was throwing 90 miles an hour in high school. It's just absolutely insane. He went on to receive offers from UCLA and the University of Hawaii, which he went to the University of Hawaii as a tight end in football, which is just crazy. Yeah, right? I know. He, like I said, he was drafted in 1998 by the Cleveland Indians. He signed with the Indians in 1998 for $1.3 million after being selected 20th overall in the first round. Just 17 years old, the big lefty made 5 starts for the Burlington Indians. He struck out 35 batters in 18 innings, and his ERA was 4.50. He was pretty dominant. He didn't last in the minor leagues too long. Let's see here. He made his major league debut in April 8th, 2001 against the Baltimore Orioles. The 20-year-old left-hander pitched 5 2/3 innings, allowing 3 runs, 3 hits, and 2 walks. He struck out 3 batters. The Indians still lost that game, but heck of a way to start his career. He was the Sporting News Pitcher Rookie of the Year. He was 17-5 in his first season, that's a crazy amount. pitchers just don't get up that high anymore in terms of their wins and losses because they're pulled from games too early. So he played with the Indians for 8 years. India is no longer around, of course. In his time with Cleveland, he had a 106-71 record. They made it as far as the American League Championship in 2007. CC won the American League Cy Young in 2007 while playing for the Indians. He also won the Warren Spahn Award in 2007, given to the best left-handed pitcher in baseball. He had 3 All-Star nods during his time with Cleveland. But in 2008, he was traded to the Milwaukee Brewers for a couple of guys and one guy named Michael Brantley, who was a player to be named later, which that's a crazy throw-in.
It is.
Like, that's just like, usually it's just like, oh, okay, some guy that you're never going to hear from again. But Michael Brantley? Like,
yeah.
Let's see. He was pretty lights out when he got traded to the Brewers. That year, he finished the season with an 11-2 record and a 1.65 ERA. On a run with the Brewers that took them to the playoffs for the first time in a long time. They did not win, but I think the story of CC pretty much started there. He had a good run in Cleveland, but he really kicked off. The following year, he signed with the New York Yankees for $161 million. This is the largest pitcher contract ever given at that time. Now it's mid-level, which is just sad. CC went on that in 2009 to win the ALCS MVP. They won the World Series that year. He led the league in wins in 2009, 2010, and 2010, 2011, and 2012. He was an all-star. So really kicked off when he was in New York. They had a star-studded team at that point. So it was no doubt that he had all the support he needed. My favorite story of CC Sabathia is this. He had a contract bonus time, and he had to make 155 innings, and he was 7 innings away going into his final start of the season. CC beamed someone early on in the game, unintentionally, just one of his looping sliders. They hit a guy in the hand. The Rays decided to retaliate and throw at CC's catcher, Austin Romine, and threw at his head, which that's just a no-no. That's a no-no. So from the point of Austin Romine, he said he decided he was going to hit catcher Jesus Sucre to lead off the bottom of the inning. He was going to do it even though he knew it meant getting ejected. Aware of the payday, Romine briefly tried to talk CC out of it. He knew CC started the game needing to throw 7 innings for the bonus, and the lefty was 2 innings shy. Nope, CC said, walking away. First dude. CC walked out, hit Jesus Sucre in the 6th inning of the game, his 55th pitch of the night, and his hardest pitch of the night at 92 miles an hour. After CC forfeited the $500,000 bonus by plunking Sucre in the butt and getting thrown out, he pointed to Kittredge in the Rays dugout, and the TV cameras could read, "That's for you, bitch." He was later suspended 5 games. The Yankees did end up paying him the $500,000 bonus at the end of the day, just for being a good guy. He has been nothing but a stellar teammate throughout his entire career. CC struggled with alcoholism and knee injuries throughout his entire baseball career. He was still able to win the Cy Young Award and championship ring while drinking. He hit rock bottom in 2015. He's now sober, and he is the spokesperson for My Relationship with Alcohol campaign. CC announced his retirement from Major League Baseball October 21st, 2019, after playing 19 seasons. Pretty crazy for a pitcher, especially a big pitcher. He was not a little guy, as you kind of see.
That little guy, like each.
Yeah, exactly. Big contrast. He was inducted this week with an 86.8% vote, and he will wear a Yankees hat into the Hall of Fame. After retiring from baseball in 2019, CC became a special assistant to Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred. So congratulations, CC Sabathia. Great teammate.
Yeah. And not as
We're
much
cheering a guy who's sober now, but I'm like, I'll say cheers regardless.
he gets it.
Yes. And
86% in the first year ballot. Like I don't remember the last time we've had 2 guys on their first year of that high of voting, probably in a long time, because now there's all the controversy about our generation of players and what they might have been doing to help them. A-Rod. Sorry, Jeff. Yes. You were here, you defend him, I'm sure.
And much like Jose Ramirez, like when CC was with Cleveland at that time, like he was a dominant pitcher, really, amazing, but you wouldn't know him if you didn't watch baseball all the time. And Cleveland wasn't.
We're not a great team then. I was surprised they made the playoffs once, And Brewers, though, I got him in the playoffs. I had to look to see him, like, were they even in the National League yet? And luckily I saw his picture. There was okay, they were in the National League by that point.
Right. Yeah. And I remember when they made that trade, and then that's what got them through I believe that wild card. Yeah. And it really put them over, because that was like a really big acquisition for them at the time. Yeah. And then when he moved on to the Yankees, like he was still dominant. He was part of those great teams at the end of the 2000s.
Mm-hmm. And World Series, he got his ring.
Yeah, but he did get big, and you could tell, and you could see him right now. He looks great.
Last I read, he seems to be on the pursuit of golf, which keeps you busy.
Yes,
I mean, he was never a hitter, so it never screwed up. It would never screw up his swing. Mm-hmm. But that was always the thing, is when batters would go try and play golf, their baseball swing wouldn't throw it off. So
yes.
Yeah, no, CC seems like a good guy, and unfortunately not a good guy to have a beer with, but that's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Yes. Well, that's why they have kombucha now, and
we have a cafe. Just have a cup of cafe.
That's it.
Open a cafe.
You said 19 years?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's nuts. I did not. If you would have asked me, I wouldn't have said 19 years, but that's incredible. What an incredible run.
Yeah, just tons of strikeouts. Like, he just the big looping lefty. And it just same curveball, kind of like Kershaw, and fun to watch clips.
That's awesome. Great job. Well, I am excited about mine. Billy Wagner. Now, a lot of non-baseball fans he's not a huge name. And even for baseball fans, the people in the know, they said, Billy Wagner, wait till you hear this man's path to the Hall of Fame. It is pretty inspiring, and not someone that I think that you'll root for and actually look back at as a lot differently after you hear his story. So William Edward Wagner was born on July 25th, 1971 in Marion, Virginia. His young parents, who faced economic hardships and domestic instability. He was originally right-handed, but he broke his arm twice before the age of 5, prompting him to teach himself to throw left-handed. It was a pivotal change in his future career. His parents wound up getting divorced, and he frequently moved in between relatives' home, lacking a stable upbringing. But his life took a turn for the better when he was 14, when he went to go live with his cousin, who convinced his parents to let Billy live with them. He excelled both in football and baseball at Tazewell High School in Virginia, posting an impressive statistics as a pitcher and center fielder. In his senior year at Tazewell High, he finished with a successful career with a breakout season in center field, batting .451 and stealing 23 bases. He also compiled a 7-1 pitching record with 116 strikeouts and a 1.52 ERA. But since he was smaller in stature, he got limited attention from scouts and opted to attend Division III Ferrum College, which is also in Virginia, where he focused solely on baseball. At Ferrum College, Wagner set NCAA records with an average of 19.1 strikeouts per 9 innings.
What?
Isn't that insane? 19.1. Showcasing his dominant pitching abilities. Isn't that crazy?
So that's a little over 2 strikeouts per inning.
Yeah,
they like 2.2. Yeah. Oh my god!
And this would be a theme. So again, he's a starter at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. So he was drafted by the Houston Astros as the 12th overall pick in 1993. He began his professional career in the minor leagues, where he continued to demonstrate high strikeout rates despite control challenges. He started his career with the short season A Auburn Astros in 1993. He went 8-9 with 204 strikeouts in 26 games for the Quad City River Bandits in the Midwest League in 1994. As you can see here, he played in the minor leagues for the AA Jacksonville Generals and the AAA Tucson Toros, all as a starter. We should do deep dives on all these old teams. There's some amazing
I've
stuff.
definitely seen some Tucson Toros games over the years because that was an Astros affiliate for a really long time.
So he made his Major League Baseball debut with the Astros on September 13th, 1995. Incredibly, the day after he learned he would be going to the Astros, his wife's parents were tragically murdered. Can you imagine? So he had an unstable background, and on the biggest day of his life, arguably, his wife lost their parents, and it was very, very tragic. He was assigned with number 13 and defied its reputation for being a bearer of bad luck by wearing the number for his entire major league career, which is, so you'll never forget that Billy Wagner was number 13, right?
Not now.
Well, I'm watching where that ball's going. It looks like it's bad luck where that ball's going. I don't know where that ball's going.
He's known for his powerful fastball. He transitioned to a relief pitcher role and eventually became a dominant closer. He played 9 years with the Houston Astros. He was a 3-time All-Star with 225 saves. And in 1999, won the National League Rolaids Relief Man Award and was 4th in Cy Young voting as well. He was also I didn't realize this, he was also pitched in a combined no-hitter on June 11th of 2003. That is under the radar as well.
And those combined no-hitters are not really a thing until more recent years for sure.
Yeah, more recently for sure. He then played 2 seasons in Philadelphia from 2004 to 2005. He was an all-star once with 59 total saves. Over 2 seasons, it's insane what his production was. He then played 4 years with the New York Mets from 2006 to 2009. He was again a 3-time all-star with 101 saves and 6 in Cy Young voting in 2006. His time with the Mets ended prematurely when he had to go Tommy John surgery in September of 2008. On August 25th, 2009, he was traded by the Mets to the Red Sox. The Red Sox wanted Wagner to be the setup man for a closer, Jonathan Papelbon. Wagner pitched in 15 regular season games and 1 inning in the AL Division Series, giving up 2 runs on 2 hits. At that point, it looked like his career was over, but the Braves came knocking on the door and he signed with Atlanta for the 2010 season. In his final season, Wagner went 7-2 with a 1.43 ERA and 37 saves. This guy his career was over and comes back with.
That was his last season. He didn't get re-signed. What?
Totally insane. He had 104 strikeouts in 69 1/3 inning. And that comes back. These stats come back. It's like insane, his stats.
Michael, do you have any idea why he would not have been re-signed after such an insane? Did he voluntarily retire? I mean, come on. That's an incredible last season.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't remember at that time people kind of stressing about stats so much. And I think that's the theme of his career, which we'll find out. Like people look back at his stats and go like, what? And when I tell you at the end what his career stats and how he ranks, it's insane. And then even in his last outing, it was poetic. He struck out his last 4 batters that he faced. So he went out with a bang. So Wagner in all saved 422 games, which is 8th most all time and 2nd most by a left-handed pitcher. He had 2 seasons with more than 40 saves in 2003 and 2006. He had a 30-plus save season for 4 different teams. This is, that is enough right there.
It's crazy because a closer now is so valuable. It's crazy that he would be shipped around that much. Wow.
So get this stat. He struck out 33.2% of the batters he faced during his career. Okay. He had 11.9 strikeouts per 9 innings, the highest of any pitcher who threw at least 900 innings. Wagner had a lifetime ERA of 2.31. His career ERA plus of 187 is only behind Mariano Rivera among pitchers who have thrown more than 900 innings. He accumulated a 27.7 WAR as a reliever which is more than only 4 pitchers. Okay. And fitting as a closer, and this is so fitting. On his 10th and final year on the Hall of Fame ballot, Billy Wagner becomes the 9th reliever to join the Hall of Fame with an 82.5% of the votes. So cheers to Billy Wagner, the reliever that you did not want to face. And now you know the rest of the story.
Crazy. I didn't know his numbers were that good.
Yes. And I kept on hearing his name in drips and drabs, like, why he should be considered. And when I went back and heard everything, and, he said like he was smaller in stature, like he was throwing 100 before people were throwing 100, like in those kind of days, right? Now it's like, it's kind of almost like normal, and people are, again, he had Tommy John surgery as well, but now they're losing their arms earlier in their career for over pitching, but he was doing it consistently for a long time, and they just got his control, and he was nails. He wasn't Lenny Dykstra, but he was nails.
That's
Billy
crazy.
the Kid.
Last year he got 82.5%. Like all of a sudden everyone's like, "Oh, this guy is obviously a Hall of Famer." What happened the last 9 years? If you hashtag do the research, you realize, yes, this guy's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And as we talked before the show, to make the Baseball Hall of Fame now, it's a totally different. In the future, it could be a totally different thing. You have pitchers who aren't going to be accumulating 350 wins anymore. It might be WAR or strikeouts per inning. You had a Sandy Koufax Sandy Koufax is going to be like a pre-version of what future starting pitchers are going to be for a Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
The guy who screws that short, but now you have guys who pitch 10, 15 years, only have 200 wins, and they're going to get in, like a CC Sabathia or something. But
A good example would be Felix Hernandez in that case, because Felix played on just garbage Mariners teams. He was the ace during a garbage era, and he was losing games.
Do we know how he did on the ballot?
31st year, and he got around 32%.
Okay, good.
So it's a decent starter point. He obviously
because I think of also like a Johan Santana, who arguably be a Hall of Famer, but another guy who just was not on very good teams. But you win 2-3 Cy Young awards, you should definitely be considered nowadays.
I mean, Felix, perfect game, immaculate inning, hit a grand slam.
Wow.
There you go. See, there you go. Right there. Boom. There you go. Allan's ready to do his next deep dive.
Yes. And I believe that last year, Billy Wagner, I think he missed by 5 votes. So, I mean, he was super close. So, this was a big thing. And so I was super rooting for him. I was super rooting for Ichiro, of course, but Billy Wagner, I was definitely hoping that he was, and he made it. So, kudos to him. And what a career. Let
me give you a quote from Mr. Billy Wagner. He said, "Everything I do has been a blessing. To look back and to see that I'm the first left-handed reliever, the first Division III college player, the first guy from the state of Virginia in the Hall of Fame as a baseball player, those things that are me."
Yeah. And he used to, I believe he used to work out at Virginia Tech. Again, the scouts just didn't want him because of his size.
Yeah. The only guy who has more saves than by a left-hander is John Franco. But John Franco has 2 more saves than Billy Wagner.
Wow. Say what you will. He's short in stature. Look at those legs, man.
Yeah.
He's got some powerful legs.
Yeah.
That is, he's a little fire plug.
And let me add, in his second year, he only got 10.2% of the vote.
Enough to stay on.
If you fall below 10, you're out. So he's the only candidate in the modern election era post 1967 to receive fewer than 15% in 3 separate elections before eventually getting in. So cheers to Mr. Billy Wagner.
We're going to do some more of these. We definitely want to go deeper into some of these players and let you know how great they are. Some that have made it into the Hall of Fame, some that haven't, some that are just quirky. And hey, you should know about them because we love them. Here we are on all the socials. We're on X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. Guys, any last words before we sign off for this edition of the Brew Crew Podcast?
Nothing from me this week.
Well, let me do the plug ski. because if anyone is in Sloan Field on this coming Sunday, look out because Michael Mondragon and Kevin Lyon are going to see the Savannah Bananas for the Party Animals live in a little cover, baby. We finally get to see the Savannah Bananas, who we've been aware of for nearly a decade. It's going to happen. So if you live in the Phoenix area, if you're at a brewery on this coming Saturday, February 1st, you'll probably see us. Or if you're at Sloan Field on February 2nd, yeah, you'll probably see us. You know, if you come see us, say hey, and you know what? If I see somebody, I'll buy you a beer. How about that?
There you go. Yeah.
I'm not buying your beer, Michael Mondragon.
Oh, you're not? All right.
No, hey, how about this, Allan? I might be bringing a bag in my suitcase of liquid yeast samples.
Just check your bag. You're fine.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. I'm flying Southwest, so it's perfect. I can just put them in there.
First bag's free.
I'm looking forward to it because I was off the banana boat for quite a while because I was trying so hard to get tickets. I could never do it. I would always get close. It finally happened. So I'm back on the banana boat.
Won the lottery, Allie. I don't have to say to you about going to banana games. Can you hit the board for me, please? So I don't have to say it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like legitimately, as we've been trying for years to go see him.
Yeah, and I've really wanted to see them, and I'm like, am I going to be the last person to see the Savannah Bananas?
You and I are, yes.
I think that's the way it worked out. But But hey, thank you for joining this week. For Allan Jepsen, for Kevin Lyon, I'm Michael Mondragon. We will see you next time for another Baseball Brew Crew podcast. Thanks for joining, everyone. Good night.